me till the bitter end.
I love that dress, first of all, but hold on.
Me till the bitter end.
So these airy notes can be draining if they're done in excess. But if you do it in the beginning of a tune, it gives you so much room to grow. You can get epic phrasing, etc., etc. So let's check this out.
With me till the bitter end. What we have transcends.
These phrases are actually much longer than you would imagine, given how she's chopping up the phrases, which is actually really it's a very interesting choice. Usually phrases, you don't break them up with like inhales between these little moments. But I'm interested to see what she does after that, because right now we're getting like really little chunks of phrases.
With me till the bitter end. What we have transcends.
And you see how, like I said, she starts out with the breathy, with a very light, and now she's bringing more closure in to bring in more dynamic as she continues on in her phrases.
This experience too painful to talk about.
And I love this. So that the use of aspirates, using of the vocal fry, right, like that little bit of that, and this very casual, like speech-like approach.
It's too painful to talk about.
So neutral larynx, everything's neutral here. This is basically, she just said the word in a very elongated form. It's very, very awesome, I think, from an artistic standpoint.
Talk about.
She's leveling with us, you know what I mean?
So I hold it in till my heart can mend and be brave enough to love again. A place in time still belongs to us.
There's something in one of the formal classical music theory, when you phrase, there's something called A prime B, which is said thing again, and then the response. So it's like call, response. And the way that she organizes herself through this phrase from a vocal standpoint is really interesting.
A place in time.
That's the call.
Still belongs to us.
And I love that, because what she's doing with the call is she's setting up for the response to be really elegant. And this is, I think, where I was saying, like, I want to wait until to see what she does with the phrases, right? And this is it. This is the juice right here.
Again, a place in time still belongs to us. Stays beside in my mind. In the memories there is silence.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if she writes her own music. I mean, I'm new to the Mariah town. I always knew she was a crazy vocalist, and I always respected her. But I'm not terribly privy to her music. But I love this. So we had the call response.
Stays beside in my
Number
mind.
2. And this response takes us somewhere else. This isn't a repetition of the last phrase. This response part of the phrase takes us somewhere else. And I love that. And that's the first time we're getting really big open vocals. That's brilliant. Starting out with falsetto, starting out with the whispery stuff, and then waiting patiently and phrasing excellently to build up to this point. That is stellar musicianship.
Never too far away. I won't let time erase one bit of yesterday, 'cause I have learned that love.
And that's one thing she's ridiculously good at. One thing that she's ridiculously good at is this belt into the vibrato. It's difficult because you're using two different parts of your larynx when you do that. She just tilts a little bit of the thyroid at the end of that belt to give that vibrato, and it's so tasteful.
I can't take your place, and though it can never be.
Sorry to, okay, so this right here.
And though it
She's tilting the cricoid to belt, untilts it to do a run, tilts it right back to go back to the belt. Listen to this.
take your place,
Yay.
and though it can never be, I keep you close to me. Always remember, remember.
I love this. Again, from a musical standpoint. She is delivering on like epicness and bigness, but she has a lot left in the performance to go. So she crescendoed to a point of significance and now is bringing us back down because you need to grow and you need to kind of come back just to have a convincing and compelling performance. You need places to go. This is a journey that she's bringing us through.
Never too far away.
Dang. It's not just the fact that she can whistle, it's the way it sounds. It's so easy for whistle to sound abrasive, in the same way that flute can sound abrasive. And that doesn't sound abrasive at all. It literally sounds like, not like the 5 a.m. bird waking you up, but like the nice afternoon bird that you're having your lunch outside in the park, and you're like, oh, that's nice. This is not the 5 a.m. bird. This is the 12 p.m. bird.
Like hope is gone. Look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Oh, 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 oh. See, love, dreams are hard to follow, but don't let anyone
Oh my God, let's talk about this.
let anyone tear them away.
So that's, again, more of this cricoid tilt and then untilt. Belt, untilt, tilts again. The speed at which she can tilt and untilt is uncommon. It's uncommon to be able to do it this quickly and with this much control.
But don't let anyone tear them away.
And then that, like, again, this crack into the emotional, intentional crack into this belt again. One of the reasons it's so hard to tilt and untilt very quickly is because it takes a tremendous amount of strength, and the muscles responsible for tilting, which there's disagreement on which muscles do which, but it still takes a lot of strength in order to do this so rapidly. This is just really good. So to get this straight tone right here without belting requires just an intentional, like you're basically, you're using an intentional amount of tension, which in different parts of the range, totally intentional, right? Totally fine. But it's what she does afterwards. And again, more to this, the pace at which she switches things up. Tension on purpose. Release immediately into a run.
Then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and then you cast your fears aside because you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and then you finally see the truth. That hero lies in you.
Repetition is always a tricky thing in music because you have to do something different every time or give some sort of arc, and she does a great job here.
Hero lies in you. That hero lies in.
Ooh, listen to that low. Yes. So one of the ways she's getting more into that low, you can't really see it, it's not a good angle, but what she's doing is what's called the proximity effect. So notice how as I get closer to the microphone, my voice gets deeper. Didn't change the vowel at all, but went to almost, right? So she's getting really close up to this microphone, and then she purses her lips. When you purse your lips, you can also get darker sounds. So, not just to change the vowel. Let me start on. Oh. You see how as I move my lips forward, there's more depth? It's like a trombone, right? You pull that stuff out, it gets lower. The reason why is because it extends the vocal tract, making the vocal tract longer, because your lips are part of the vocal tract. So it literally gives you a bigger instrument. So she combines those two, the proximity effect and pursing the lips. Right? And you can see she's coming away from the microphone with pursed lips. That's how she gets those rich lows. That's clever. And look at, again, this mic technique here. I love it. I love it. And again, very hard to not make a whistle register strident. And it's not. It's beautiful. So good. So good. If you like this kind of video, check out the live streams. I got it right, finally. The live stream's right over there, either one of the two. Pick whatever one interests you. That's where I let viewers decide what we're reacting to, what we're talking about. So if that interests you, go ahead and check those out.